Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. I just want to thank a subscriber who gave me this lovely chakra incense. Thank you so much, I love it. And right now I'm burning the root chakra. That didn't come out right, but it's the red one. So this one is supposed to really work with your root chakra. I've been getting that a lot for people finding your stability, your source, your energy. So this is tea with tea and tarot. I'm drinking oolong tea. I have a beautiful, wanted to present you with this beautiful piece of amethyst. It's gorgeous. It's for the crown chakra, and it's a very calming stone. It's a very peaceful stone, and it is the stone for February. So we're still in February technically. So enjoy it. All right, you guys. I'm gonna do a short little reading on the oracle deck, and then I'm going to do a reading for our current events, and then I'll get straight into my journey with tarot. So I wanted to just kind of compile them just a little bit and see where this takes me. And thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I didn't think my videos would get so many views so quickly. Thank you again so much. I really appreciate it. I would not be here without you. And also, yes, my cooking channel is coming in April. It's called Time with Tosca, and it's time like THYME. So I hope you guys check that out. Alright, let's get into some Reiki. I do personal readings, you guys. I just got finished with a personal reading this morning at 4 a.m. So you guys be patient with me. I'm just sending you guys some light and love. If you guys are interested in a personal reading or a Reiki session or anything else, my products and services are on the description box below, and my Cash App is below too. So as I was working the bowl, I actually got the saying, nothing new revolves around the sun. So whatever you are facing has been faced before, has been attained before. So in a way, it's like you're not the only one who's on this journey alone. You're doing everything you can, and everything happens for a reason. And that was actually in the Bible. I didn't think it was in the Bible, but it's actually in the Old Testament, the book of Ecclesiastes. You don't know anything about the Bible, the book of Ecclesiastes and the Song of Solomon were both books written by King Solomon, who was the wisest and richest king. He asked, God granted him a wish, and his only wish, or his only prayer, was to have wisdom. And he became the wisest king. So he's one of those very interesting characters in the Bible, and if you don't, read the Bible, or if you don't fall into the category of being a Christian, I would still say take some time to read the Bible. There is some interesting things in there that maybe you didn't know. For me personally, I believe that the Bible is true, but not all truths are in the Bible. So basically, there's truths in other things other than the Bible, but for whatever reason, I do believe that the Bible, for me, is true. It just depends on the context you read it in. So, you have to be, at least for me, when it comes to things like that, I am flexible. So, try to keep an open mind. Give me one card, please. Alright, I'm just going to pick one out. Spirit of Bear, 396 Hertz. Some of you guys, it's such a beautiful card. Some of you guys are coming out of hibernation, or about to come out of hibernation. Some of you guys were a little too cozy in your comfortable space. So, 101. Okay. You are being healed from guilt and fear. Such emotions will no longer steal your personal power or dissuade you from confidence, happiness, and realizing your own worth. No matter how unlikely it may seem, you are going to emerge from a spiritual winter into a light and life. The divinely ordained time for your liberation, healing, and emergence is much closer than you realize. Abundant blessings are stirring and shall soon manifest. So you guys, maybe you guys got caught up in the confines of your mind, in the confines of maybe just resting, or even in a way avoiding people. You guys, this is lepidolite. I want you guys to work with this. It's very helpful. It's a lepidolite bear. It's really good for changes, you guys. Changes in seasons, changes in your life, breakups, marriages, moving, things like that. This is a really good stone to have. Some of you guys are in a interesting time in your life. What a time to be alive. Alright, so current events, you guys. I just decided to do just a short current event thing, and I don't want it to take more than 5 to 10 minutes. It's just a very brief and just some predictions that I might have. I am not Nostradamus. I see things in some ways, and I think that it's time for me to just speak out on it. So, thank you guys for letting me be myself, especially on YouTube. There's a lot of tarot readers you could be reading, you can be watching out there, but you decided to tune in with this one. What's going on in the world as a whole? One more shuffle. There's just a lot going on right now, you guys. A lot. What's going on in the current world right now? Current events. Tell me, you guys, if this resonates with you. The Empress. The divine feminine is coming out. it was something that was inevitable, like it was supposed to happen. The Six of Cups. So the Western society, our Western world, was based on a lot of masculine energy, masculinity, the law, the how we enforce things, how to have structure. Six of Swords. Nine of Wands. Some of you divine feminines are healing. Sorry. Could be the moon in reverse too, but the moon. And give me one more card, please. So our Western society was based off of masculine energy. War, violence, Seven of Pentacles. And now we're moving to a different time in society where we're moving to a more feminine energy. It doesn't mean we're all going to be feminine. It just means that a more feminine way of thinking, a more gentle way of thinking is emerging, and that's fine. A lot of us are becoming more in tune with our higher selves, our emotions, our intuitions. And right now, the divine feminines, you know, they're looking at the pain and the hurt that we've been going through, especially with wars just recently starting. There is a strong sense of maternal pain, and it's like, as soon as I just started healing, you hurt me again, you know. So that's what I'm really getting as an energy. It's almost like it's a very almost like a hippie idea, but it's almost like, why can't we just get along? Why do we have to fight? But war, in some cases, is inevitable. Sometimes it happens. And a lot of times it happens for the wrong reasons. I'm not going to go into the politics of it, but there is a sense of we're going through a pandemic. We just seen a whole bunch of death. Now you're going to have a war. Like, is that even real? Also, for some reason, I just saw the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. So read the book of Revelations if you're interested in things like that. Okay. And right now, we're trying to get into calmer waters. I see a lot of refugees right now. A lot of people are leaving their homes. They're leaving their countries. They are leaving their places of work. It's almost like they're watching everything that they built come to an end, and they just have to go. Some of you guys are, I'm seeing some of you guys are in bomb shelters right now. So, Knight of Cups fell out. I do believe that there will be a more diplomatic way of keeping things in order in Ukraine and in Russia and in Eastern Europe. I love Eastern Europe, you guys. I did a whole trip around Eastern Europe. I went to Latvia, Czechoslovakia, Slovenia. I love that area of the world. And there will be a more diplomatic way. You see how he still has his armor on, though? There is a diplomatic way of going about it, but you also have to understand you need to protect yourself. Some of you are protecting your mind and your heart. Some of you are trying to protect your culture, your belief systems, but you're trying to do it in a peaceful and gentle way. One more card for current events and then we're done. Three of Wands. Some of you guys are going to be traveling. Some of you guys are going to have to look for options of where you have to go, what you have to do. How do I restart? How do I look at my options and start again, start my business again, start my little store again? A lot of you, I'm getting a lot of people in the Ukraine were small business owners, and I can relate to that because I am one. A lot of them had to leave their homes, their shops, their everything. It's just way too chaotic, but I think you guys are going to keep a very optimistic outlook on life. Alright, that's what I'm getting right now for, also I see your economy bouncing back, so it might be good or might be better than it was before. So yeah, war is never good, but your economy and the strength card is on the bottom. You guys stay strong. Stay strong. I think there will come a time where there will be a diplomatic sanction that will happen. Alright, you guys, so I just wanted to talk to you about my journey with tarot and how I got into tarot reading. First I want to send you guys some light and love. Alright? Light and love, you guys. We need that now more than ever. And we need to find a way to figure out how we can just keep things moving and keep things going. Okay, my journey starts right now. So, hi everyone, you guys know me as Tosca, and yes, this is my channel, and it has been a long time coming. I was always hesitant of starting a YouTube channel. I started a few back in 2011, 2010, but it had nothing to do with this. It was something totally, completely different. It was to study for the MCATs. So I was a study guide for the MCATs. I also enjoy teaching and enjoy being in business for myself. I am a fashion designer, a musician, an entrepreneur, and I do different things on a different day. I wear so many different hats. So anyway, let me get straight to it. I didn't get into tarot until I was 31. I am 34 currently. I will be 35 in April, go Aries. So I didn't know I had this gift, and that's why I wanted to showcase it for the world, because I've had seen things in my life where things happened and I didn't know why, or things I would say would come true. I was very intuitive and just very in my zone. I had my own little world when I was like waking up, you know, in the mornings and just going to school, and I just had my own little world. Okay, so it started when I was 6 years old. That was my first recollection of tarot reading. and it was at a party. I think it was at a bridal shower. And I saw a lady who was picking up. She was doing a little tarot in the room, in a back room at a party, and I thought it was only for entertainment purposes only, so I didn't think anything much of it. Especially as being 6 years old, I wasn't really like, oh, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. It was more of like, oh, what is this? Out of curiosity. And this lady was reading tarot readings, and people were going into the room and they were coming out crying or laughing. And I was like, wow, there's some kind of power within this tarot reading, because um, if it can evoke certain different emotions or thought processes, I would definitely love to be introduced to it. So as soon as she was packing up, she dropped a tarot card, and I picked it up for her, and it was the Ace of Swords. I didn't know what that meant at the time. That was like the Ace of Swords. And now thinking about it, the Ace of Swords means um, going for it, or it means straightforward. Some people think it means clarity, mental and visual clarity. I will give you a little reading on the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is an air element, so Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. The Ace of Swords is focus, clarity, victory, and inspiration. So now that I know that, I was just like, wow, that might have been a prequel to what I'm doing now. And I forgot all about tarot after that. I was only 6 years old. It was just one party amongst a lot of parties I've been to. And I didn't realize anything of it. You know, I just thought they were just cards. Some readers do it for the wrong reasons. Some readers do it for the right reasons. But different people have different agendas. So, I'm not here to judge all the other readers, because there's a whole community of tarot readers on YouTube, online in general. But yeah, I just was so just curious about it, and then I lost the curiosity. And during my high school years, middle school to high school years, I went to uh, Christian school, so definitely no tarot there. I went to a Catholic high school, and it's pretty much like a done deal for me. Like, I didn't know anything about tarot, and we never talked about it at home. I started to see things when I was about 14 or 15 years old, so my psychic ability started to develop around the end of middle school towards high school. I started to see things, have vivid dreams, have visions, have not thoughts, but crazy just mediumship. So I could absorb energy, so I'm very empathic. So I absorb people's energy, and when I feel everyone's energy at once, my emotions go kaput, and I have like a breakdown, a mental breakdown. This is why I decided to live alone, because if I am in a roommate situation, which is fine, roommate situations are fine, but if I feel those kinds of painful energies or those negative energies, I suck those emotions. Emotions to me can either make me go straight up or straight down. So I have to be very careful with how I handle emotions and energies and people who I let in my circle. But I do love YouTube. I love the platform here. I haven't really received anything negative. And by the way, if you do have something that's, contrary to what I believe in, I mean, I'm open to speaking to you. I'm just not I'm not gonna chase you or like try to defend myself in front of people that I don't really have to defend, So, yeah, I ended up from New York City to Atlanta, Georgia, and I moved here probably when I was 27. And I decided to leave the city. I went to college. I was pre-med. I did all my coursework. I had the credits. I took the classes. I have a master's degree in public health, but I knew that that life was not for me. As much as I would have loved it to be for me, it's not. Um, I can still heal people, help people in a different way. So I enjoy doing this, drinking my tea at home and not dealing with the hospital life, working in a hospital. Um, During that time, I will say, while I was doing rounds and working at hospitals, um, so during my teenage years, I know I skipped a little bit, during my teenage years to my college years, I was getting visions. I started to see things. Um, I've seen my grandfather die, my grandmother pass away. Um, my grandmother is one of my spirit guides. I did not know that she would, I didn't know any of this was real. In fact, I didn't think any of this was real. Um, and there were things in my life where it's like, I didn't know, like, for example, like on a test in school, I wouldn't know the answer, but I would pick the one that I thought would be the answer and be right. Like, things that I didn't think would be wrong or right. So I grew up in a very strict family. Like, I couldn't even date. I couldn't even date at all until, I was done with school. So basically, I'd be over 25. But I, yeah, I was in a very strict family household. I was not allowed to really speak about this. This was superstition. However, I did have an aunt who knew about this kind of thing, knew about this kind of work. She passed away last year. God rest her soul. But she passed away last year, but she taught me small things, very subtle things in my metaphysical world. And she taught me how to read palm. And if you guys are curious, I am Filipino and Korean. So she taught me how to read palm, and she taught me how to work with herbs, what would heal you. She taught me about manifestations, but in a different way. What she would do is she would put salt on the windowsill, things like that. So I was very like, really? You still put salt on the windowsill? Like, this is America. We don't believe in that, that kind of thing. But apparently there is something to it. And so I ended up just acknowledging what I had and the gift I had. And she was the one who told me first that I had abilities. And she said, you've seen things, she's like, you've seen spirits, you've seen things, you've seen. And I said, yeah, I've seen a lot of things that I cannot explain, and I don't want to explain. And it's just painful for me because I'm going to a Catholic school and a Baptist church, and I'm not allowed to talk about these things. And, my parents don't believe me, or if they do believe me, I have to go see a therapist or a counselor or someone like that, or a psychiatrist. And it was a mess. There were times in my life, quite a few times in my life, where I really just wanted to take my own life. I'm sorry to say it that way, but There are times in my life that I really felt like I wanted to take my own life, but I knew somehow, somewhere, there was a bigger purpose for me doing these videos and a bigger voice that I had to speak up on. Um, so I took time, and during my college years, I just took time. I focused on my work. I focused on what I had to do, and I just started out not believing. And then from there, just saying, okay, if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. If it does, then great. So it's almost like I'll believe when I see it. And so I chose, it almost ended up being the opposite way. I had a little bit of faith that I would see it. You know, there's that saying in the Bible, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So I ended up just saying, I left the door open to a possibility that there was something to this. But, you know, academia and school, they don't really cultivate this kind of ideology or this type of thinking. So I just kept going. I was in chemistry class, English class. I, did all of that. And I ended up doing my master's in public health, and I really thought, okay, this is my chance. I can really, become a doctor, become a nurse, or a healthcare professional to really help people. And as soon as I got into internships, at hospitals, I just did not like it, and I knew I did not like it because innately it wasn't the work that was killing me. It was like I was getting physical pain. So basically I was getting migraines, a lot of migraines. That time of the month for me was a very, very crucial. Like, I could not even move. Like, there were days where I had to miss class because of cramps, because of pain. I felt nauseous all the time. Like, my body, like, the stress levels living in New York City were high, but even the pressure I put on myself was even higher. And, my hair was falling out. I was skinny. I mean, I lost a lot of weight in such a quick amount of time. But it was like I felt like I shouldn't have to subject myself to being in pain all the time just to uplift someone else's dream or thoughts about me. I thought that people would just like me just the way I am. So I ended up, moving to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in 2015, and I never looked back. I really never looked back. Like, I'll visit New York City, but I mean, there's no way I can move back. It's just too much for me. And so I moved here, and it was great for the first few years, 5 years. And then the pandemic hit, and I lost my father and my aunt in 2020. So I lost my father in March of 2020, and my aunt who taught me palm readings, I lost her in May of 2020. So it was a difficult time for me, and out of that, I came out with a small business called Diwata's Origin, and it's in homage of my ancestral roots and my Filipino roots. And it's about healing. It's about finding comfort with yourself. These are bath salts that I make. Some of them are made with herbs and definitely with a lot of intentions and love and comfort. I also make intention candles. All these things are available at Marina if you're in Marietta, Georgia. Um, I also do like tarot readings. So my journey to tarot from, I guess, 2018, it restarted. So I had a little bit of a journey like back when I was in high school where like, oh, let's just play with the Ouija board. Oh, let's get like a tarot card or tarot reading. So my first tarot deck was the Goddess Tarot deck, and I got it from a witch in Massachusetts, Salem, Massachusetts. And I never like I looked at it, and I've done readings, but I didn't know how to read them. And on top of that, I had to hide it from my family because of religious, structures, and because the guy I was dating at the time was studying to become a pastor. So I had to really scale back and be like, okay, maybe this is really not for me. Maybe I really do have to just put this away. So I put it away for many, many years until I was 31. My my ex, who never ended up becoming a pastor, we we're cordial, but after we broke up, I really thought he was going to be like the one I would marry. But after we broke up, I started to realize maybe I should just go see a psychic. And I was already in Georgia at the time, so I went to like a psychic who she was good. She got the reading pretty much right, but her energy, I was not connecting with her energy, but it seems like she's been doing it for so long that she just doesn't care about connecting with people. It's almost like this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. It's not really a personal thing. So I guess that might be just a barrier that she has because she might be just way too empathic also. Also, I ended up getting a reading from her, and then I did meet with a therapist because I was with someone for 7 years, and that will do a lot to you, right? That will do a lot to your mental health, to your physical health, and in your emotional health. So I went to go see a therapist, and she introduced me to someone who I consider my mentor, and he said, I know I'm not the first one to tell you this, but you have abilities, you have the gift, and you have seen things happen in your life. You may not see it happen the next day, but you saw things like years before they even happened. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I've seen things and predicted things years before they happened. This whole COVID situation, I predicted this in 2014. 9/11 happened when I was 14 years old. I predicted that like 3 months prior to it happening. I have it down in a journal. I drew a building burning, so that's what I saw. It came to me in a dream. So definitely there is something to this. But yeah, I ended up just enjoying my life, and now that I know that I have this gift, I decided to showcase it to all of you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy my channel. I always want to just send a lot of light and love and healing to the world. I know all tarot readers are different. This whole community is full of different people, and I just want you guys to focus on just your vibe, your strength. Focus on your strengths and not your weaknesses. Because your weaknesses, you can always relearn and relearn and relearn, and it'll become a skill. But when you know what you were really made of, what your strengths are, I mean, that's the point when you're doing something right. So, from 31 to 34, the last 3 to 4 years has been a journey for me. And it's been a journey for a lot of people because, we did go through and are still going through this COVID issue. And now that there's a war going on in Europe, it's a little bit, crazy. But remember, nothing new revolves around the sun. It's almost like this has happened before, and we've always ended up on top, and we've always done our best to make it out on top. This is survival of the fittest, and people die every day, people are born every day, and that's just the way the universe works. It's just the way our world works. And just to know that we're alive, we're thriving, we're surviving, and we're thriving. And despite our current situations or economic situations or our power struggles, we always have another day to make a new decision, to make a better decision for ourselves, for our own lives. And yeah, everything, I just did a reading last night, and I told him, nothing is failure. Everything is a lesson. There's no such thing as failure. Everything is a lesson. And don't be afraid of failure, because what is that? Because happiness, success could be having a family. It doesn't necessarily mean having money. Being a failure doesn't mean you never succeeded. It just means that you have another chance to try again. So I just want to let you all know that I really appreciate you watching my channel and all the encouraging words. And if you guys had a similar story when it came to the metaphysical world, please let me know. I do enjoy listening to what you guys have to say and having really good interactions with you. I am pretty vocal about starting conversations and just listening to what different people have to say. I will say this, tarot reading has really opened my mind and my heart and helped me appreciate human interactions a lot more. It helped me appreciate the value of an individual person and their stories and their life path. When I read tarot, it is a healing mechanism. It is a tool for healing, a tool for maybe not necessarily showing what will happen to you in the next year or so or the next 3 months, but a way to guide you to, this is a path that you should take. It's almost like a guiding tool. To a Christian, it would be the Bible. To me, it would be a tarot. To a Muslim, it would be the Quran. So this is just a tool for guidance. To me, it's sacred like that because it's a tool to help lead people towards a better, higher version of who they are. It's not necessarily to predict who you're going to marry, but it's to predict or to show you that this is pretty much the way you've been going, and this is how you should be going because you have a bigger destiny ahead of you. So you guys, thank you so much. I want you to guys know also that I am, I hate saying it like this, but I am a medium. I don't like putting myself in a box, but I have touched into the realm of the spirit world, and I can channel, loved ones and things like that have crossed over. And some of you, it comes natural. So some of you do have the abilities to, and I want you guys to know that there is always a place for you, a safe place for you um, at my channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate it, and thank you for enjoying tea and tarot with me. Have a good day, guys.